Okay, so I've been asked to death about what I think of this whole iDubbbz and his girlfriend's OnlyFans thing, and it's been like this big internet drama for like, I don't know how long now, honestly. It's been a few weeks at least since the memes have come along, but it's been like maybe 2 or 3 days since it really, I guess, boiled into a serious talking point after iDubbbz dropped a video talking about it. And I wanted to take a little bit of time not only to let some of the developments kind of play themselves out, but also so I could gather my opinion a little bit better than just coming on here and impulsively saying a bunch of shit about the topic. That's kind of going to be something that I bring up here in a little bit as well. So if you're for some reason unfamiliar of the situation, basically YouTuber iDubbbz, who is known for being the content cop, he criticizes a bunch of other people, and then his girlfriend basically has created an OnlyFans account within the last few weeks, which if you don't know what that is, it's basically like an amateur porn website where essentially anyone can get on there. They charge a membership fee, they can get tips from people, and they can post almost any kind of content that they want. iDubbbz's girlfriend created one, and basically the internet just kind of dove and started making jokes and ridiculing iDubbbz about the entire thing because he was getting cucked and he basically was a simp and all this other stuff, you know, just it was memes basically. But the problem is a lot of people, a lot of his supporters were legitimately upset by the fact that this happened. I wouldn't say that these were the majority of people in this whole discussion, but there definitely were some of them who actually were upset about this whole thing, which, for the record, I just want to say, if you are upset about the personal decision that someone on the internet makes, you know, you need to go outside just a little bit more, you know? Like, this isn't really that big of a deal. People are acting like this is like the end of the world, and it's ridiculous to me that it's gotten this far, but the entire situation is just a big mix-up of bullshit, basically. Before we even go any further, I just want to say that I don't think that this is really like a super important topic or discussion in the first place. Personally, I don't really care what two consenting adults do within their own home, what they do legally on the internet, things like that. I'm not really worried about it, if we're being honest. It's not something that I'm going to sit here and get legitimately worked up over. However, I think that iDubbbz definitely handled the situation completely in the wrong manner, and I think it pretty much all needs to be kind of brought up. So, on one side of all this, right, you got people who care way too much about it, and they're legitimately upset. And I don't really understand that, because you're essentially like just kind of, I would say, living through this person. Like, apparently these people look up to iDubbbz so heavily that his personal decisions, what he's personally okay with in his relationship, and what his girlfriend of all people do is something that affects their image of him and in turn affects how they emotionally feel. Personally, that could not be me. I mean, yeah, it's okay, I guess, to make jokes about it and things like that. I mean, if you're just if you're taking the piss, I guess, as British people would say, out of something, not really that big of a deal. But when it's like affecting you on a personal level and you're legitimately mad, yeah, not a good thing. But then on the other side, you have these people who are trying to use this whole situation to champion some other shit that isn't even really related to this conversation in particular. So another thing I just want to go ahead and say before I even like start reacting to his video or anything is, if you watch any website or anything online and then you are now complaining about sex workers and things like that, then you are as much of a hypocrite as people are painting iDubbbz out to be. I mean, you do realize like what people have to do in order to make that content that you consume and are completely okay with, right? They're essentially doing the same thing that iDubbbz's girlfriend is doing, and I don't know if any of you really know this either, but a lot of them are actually married or have relationships that are off scenes. Like, do people think that all of these celebrities and these stars who make these videos and stuff that you beat off to every night are just like, they're complete loners in their personal life and like they are completely incapable of finding a relationship with someone that they care about? Like, no, that has nothing to do with your enjoyment of the content, apparently. But then in this situation, because you look up to this YouTuber so much, then all of a sudden it becomes a problem, right? So with all that being said, there's a couple things in iDubbbz's video that I definitely want to address. Now, he made this video responding to the entire thing, right? And it was probably the worst thing he really could have done, because it's such a fresh situation that he's going to act based on emotion because it's somebody that he cares about, regardless of how emotionless he wants to try and present himself or try to act like this was like a completely thought out video like he would usually drop. It really wasn't. A lot of the arguments that he used are just, if not ridiculous, just very weak arguments, and he's visibly upset throughout the entire video. I feel like he tried to present himself as if he was like trying not to be mad or he wasn't mad, but at the same time, like, it's very evident in the video that he is still kind of raw about this situation. So with that in mind, it's probably best in these kinds of situations that you just simply don't respond to it. Because in reality, the internet is what I would like to call almost like this 48-hour paradise where you do some shit and people literally only care for a very small amount of time. Like, do you really think that at the end of next month, which is, I would say, a pretty extreme amount of time compared to how quickly the internet usually gets over things, that people are just going to sit here and still be stewing about this, and they're going to just be upset at you, and, you know, do you really think it would even be a topic of discussion? No, it wouldn't. You know how many people get canceled on the internet every single day, and then 4 days later, they're back to usual, and they're gaining followers and whatnot? Like, it happens all the time. To a certain extent, it even happens with content cops, right? I mean, Ian or iDubbbz will drop one of these videos, that person will lose hundreds of thousands of subscribers sometimes in like a day or two, and then 3 or 4 days later after the whole video, even though like there's still the stigma of that video being held over your head, you're right back to gaining subscribers, and after like 2 months, literally nobody really cares because it's old news. But he did, and I think that there's some things in here that need to be pointed out and talked about because, well, they just simply don't even really make sense, or they're just really weak arguments.
And then future jobs, they might be a little bit harder to come by.
I think this is one of the most important opinions to highlight because it really demonstrates a severe lack of real-world experience when you're saying that future jobs are going to be harder to come by because of an OnlyFans account. Like, if you think this affects your standing or your social credibility in getting jobs, you are so sadly mistaken.
Okay, so iDubbbz is trying to, I guess, make the claim that just because she has an OnlyFans, it would not affect her social standing, and if she went to try and get a real-world job or anything, it wouldn't affect her, I guess, chances of getting said job. And that just, it can't be further from the truth. I mean, let's just be honest with ourselves. I can't think of a single employer at this point who is not searching people up online and doing extensive background checks to figure out what they really do in their, you know, online lives, what they put up on the internet, things like that. I can't think of an employer who's not doing something like that. You really think that if you made an OnlyFans under your legal name, that that's not going to pop up on Google when they do a search for you? You think if you're trying to get hired at some sort of like, I don't know, let's say a financial firm, no, or like a technology firm, somewhere where like their brand reputation is like severely important, do you really think that when they see, oh, not only has she been known for all of this other shit, which, by the way, is a completely separate topic from this, but she's known for all this other shit where she's made questionable comments on certain things in the past, but not only does she have that, she also basically does amateur porn. Is this something that we should consider? Yeah, they're probably going to consider those things. I'm not saying that it's right that that would happen. I'm not saying that it's wrong that that would happen. I'm just simply here to confirm that, yeah, you will be searched up online if you're trying to get most legitimate jobs at this point. I mean, I find it kind of weird that within this video, iDubbbz completely, I guess, tries to defeat a point by saying that it's a very 2004 mentality, but then at the same time in the year 2020 wants to almost like pretend that these kinds of things aren't like, I guess, readily available to be used against you in said job hunt or search, you know? This is another one that I really kind of found weird about this entire thing was that, like I said, he was trying to say, oh, it's like a 2004 mentality.
The internet is a forever archive, so there's no, I regret, delete all button. That's not quite there.
I don't know why this shitty point is being made. It's sort of like from 2003. By the way, the internet, it's a forever archive. Didn't know if you knew. But when you upload something, it might stick around. This isn't done impulsively. Like, what do you think? Someone's just going to make an OnlyFans just on a whim? Didn't give it any thought, just thought maybe I'll sell my pussy online and see how it goes.
Which doesn't really defeat the point. I mean, the internet literally is a forever archive. I mean, people are going to screenshot the OnlyFans pictures. They're going to take screen recordings. It's going to happen. There was literally a leak of the website that was like all over Twitter, I don't think even a month ago. And yeah, I mean, it's not like she probably made this on some impulsive whim and just said, hey, after 20 minutes of thinking about it, I think this is what I'm going to do. That's probably true. But that's acting as if like you can't think about doing something for an extended period of time, then do it and then regret it. I mean, people literally think of decisions and have dreams for years and these different aspirations for years. And then they can accomplish them and be like, holy shit, that was a horrible decision. I really don't like that. You think all the celebrities and stuff who wanted fame their entire life, but then once they get it, openly talk about how they don't really enjoy the fame? I mean, like you said, right? It's not an impulsive decision to just want to be famous for rapping or literally anything else, but then they can still have second thoughts about what's happened afterwards, you know? And just like in this situation, like you could want to post to OnlyFans for weeks, months, but then once you do it and you see what it really entails as a profession, whatever you want to call it, a hobby, a side gig. It's not like their OnlyFans is going to be paying the bills here, but do you think that if the experience is sour, that they can't regret that and then want it to be gone and erased? So overall here, like, Optimus, do you care about the OnlyFans account? Do you think that it's wrong? I really don't give a shit, and no, I don't think that it's wrong. I think that it would be wrong if iDubbbz was not okay with it, but apparently he is. I don't know if he's saying that just to, I don't know, save face with his girlfriend or whatever, but I mean, he has openly said that he's okay with it several times, so if he's okay with it, then I'm okay with it. If people are happy, who am I to tell them that they can't do shit like this? You know, it's up to them. They're two adults. They can make the decision for themselves. Personally speaking, if my girlfriend decided she wanted to create an OnlyFans, I would probably have some issues with that, but that's my personal decision. He and I are not the same. He and you are not the same. You and me are not the same. We don't have to have the same opinion on it. But what people should not be doing is getting so upset online that it affects them as a person, okay? That should not be happening. You're free to disagree with him. You're free to disagree with me. I really don't care. With that being said, though, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on my channel. Follow me over on Twitter at @SubToOptimus. I post memes, thoughts, and updates over there. It's a surefire way to get notifications of all my newest content. Make sure to check out Shop Opti down below. Lots of great official Optimus merch down there. Something very special coming probably tomorrow night, if not April 1st. Make sure to check out OpTube down below while you're there as well. Thank you to my channel members. Your support helps my channel tremendously. And well, until my next video, guys, this is Optimus. Just thinking that maybe everyone's taken this a little bit too far, and signing out.